Great British Manufacturing Podcast, brought to you by MTD, MFG and Jefferson.
Hello and welcome to the Great British Manufacturing Podcast. On this week's podcast, we will discuss the positive manufacturing news from the last 7 days and introduce this week's guest, who is the Chief Commercial Officer of SDE Technology and the UK Ambassador for Manufacturing, Christopher Greenough. But before we talk about the news, I'd like to mention Factory Now. The Factory Now initiative has been launched to help the British manufacturing sector boost sales, collaborate and reshore. Members are uploading new articles and news all the time, and this week we'd like to talk about CNC Robotics, who have extended their platinum partnership with KUKA, and Venari, who have delivered their first military grade ambulances to medics working on the front line in Ukraine. For more information, go to Factory Now site, which is mtdmfg.com/Factory Now. Stuart, welcome. How are we doing?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Joe. We've got great stories this week and a fantastic guest. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's get on with it. Lotus have opened a new factory in Norfolk. This one's gone particularly well on social media. The images are stunning, aren't they? Which always helps.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The historic British Mark has officially opened its new sports car manufacturing facility at Hethel, naming it in honour of the company's founder and inspiration. The Chapman Production Centre is a world-class centre of excellence that is already building the Emira, the last petrol-powered car from Lotus, together with a new sub-assembly facility in Norwich. The Chapman Production Centre is part of a £100 million investment by Lotus in the UK. They've been recruiting staff right across the board for the last 12 months. As it stands at the moment, well in excess of 300 new jobs have been created, and there's going to be plenty more as well to follow.
Yeah, no, just a great success story, Lotus, in recent years. Cirtec, they're investing more money here in the UK, which of course is very welcome.
Certainly is. The automotive components manufacturer has invested just under £6 million developing its capabilities to support Jaguar Land Rover's production of the newest Range Rover and Range Rover Sport. The significant investment has enhanced Cirtec's use of robotic and automated cells, as well as significantly increasing their MIG, TIG and spot automated welding capabilities. At full production, Cirtec will manufacture a total of 211 different parts to produce around 3,500 cars sets a week. So great news for Cirtec.
And we rightly focus on aerospace a lot in this show, even in the bad times, COVID and all the rest of it, when aerospace was in trouble. Let's face it, but there was always a little bit of good news. But this week there's even more good news, which is for Airbus and Rolls-Royce. They've got they've announced some pretty nice things this week.
Absolutely, yeah, really busy in aerospace this week. Rolls-Royce has secured an order worth hundreds of millions of pounds from Qantas. Derby-built Trent XWB engines will power 12 Airbus A350s ordered by the Australian carrier, and this is for the launch of its first non-stop flights from Sydney and Melbourne to London and New York. In total, Qantas has ordered 52 new Airbus aircraft, which is great news for Airbus's wing assembly plant in Broughton. And Airbus, in the last 24 hours, they've also announced plans to invest £100 million expanding capacity at the North Wales site to support a ramp-up in production of A320 family of planes. And this huge investment is expected to create more than 500 jobs. So fantastic news for the area and fantastic news for the aerospace sector.
It is, and that's what I love about the aerospace sector, perhaps more so than any other sector. If somebody orders just one aeroplane, it's got a big implications at Rolls-Royce, like you mentioned, Airbus. If the wings are made in Broughton, all their supply chains, and that's just one aeroplane, isn't it? It's a much wider impact than you would imagine.
No, absolutely, very good point, Joe.
Moving on, American-owned Howmet, they're expanding here in the UK.
Yeah, the Telford-based Howmet Fastening Systems has created more than 40 new jobs, and this is during a period of substantial growth. The manufacturer of lock bolts and blind fasteners has committed to several large investments, which will enable the company to produce a larger range of products at the Shropshire site. The company is part of Howmet Aerospace, again keeping the aerospace theme, which is headquartered in Pittsburgh, and employs almost 20,000 people across the world. So a company we've not mentioned before on the podcast, but great to see them expanding.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got more good news coming up in a short while, but I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce this week's guest, who is a bit of a regular on the show, is the Chief Commercial Officer at SDE Technology, and is also UK Manufacturing Ambassador. So it's Christopher Greenough. Chris, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Stuart. Great pleasure to be here today.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. For the people out there that don't know you, if there's anyone left that doesn't, can you just give us, tell us about yourself and your roles and responsibilities within the business?
Yeah, so I'm Chief Commercial Officer at SDE Technology. We're one of the leading manufacturers of pressings and assemblies in the UK. I've been here all of 28 years. I can't believe how time has flown. And as I said, current role, Chief Commercial Officer, so anything to do with